And Constantine's like, well, there goes our big gun. And Jason's like, well, not necessarily. And then he says his chant, changes into Etrigan, and this motherfucker just pile drives through the roof of the observatory.
Etrigan's badass.
And like, oh man. And
I would want him to be my president. That would be awesome.
that'd be hilarious.
A rhyming president.
That would be tricky.
That'd be amazing.
It'd be Schoolhouse Rock.
That'd be so awesome.
It'd be like an evil Schoolhouse Rock. And then after
fight ensues with Faust,
but he's like filthy demon, I won't have to fight your kind. You can fight people of your own. So he summons demons to keep.
It's not the same three demons from the poker game.
No, it's not. It's different demons.
They're different.
I swear to God, it was the same.
No, they're totally different.
No, all right.
And so that keeps Etrigan busy, and then everyone else kind of shuffles in. But here's the real shitty part. When Zatanna walks in...
I knew this is why he's been bum rushing to get here. Just blowing through this movie. And now he's going to... this is the podium. God. This is the podium. This is the soapbox. We're here for a minute.
I don't even want to hear about it, because what was your thing last episode? Your little soapbox.
No, I'm just saying we're going to be here for a minute. All right. Hold on. I'm going to get comfortable.
So, you're such an asshole.
I'm getting comfortable.
Okay, so Zatanna's power is used by speaking backwards. And when she walks into this observatory... she can't speak. And Faust says...
Best observatory ever.
You're such a... Oh, I hate you. So he says, oh, women aren't allowed to speak in my sanctum. He's like, it's a treat for me and, well, men everywhere.
Seconded.
How are you married? I don't...
I'm kidding. It's terrible.
So she can't use her powers because she can't talk. And he did that because he said himself, you're the only real threat here. But because Zatanna she brings a wand with her, which is like a way to store magic.
Yeah, it's to channel her magic.
So she ends up finding this totem that is keeping her from speaking, which is like a angel effigy with a little piece of cloth wrapped around its mouth. Grabs it, undoes the cloth, and holy shit, she just unleashes magical hell on Faust.
This is the point in the movie when I look at Kaylin and I go, she's the only person that could make you love women.
Probably.
And he doesn't disagree with that.
I don't. Zatanna is amazing and beautiful and powerful and everything I would want to be in a woman.
Absolutely. No. And she's got 3 Jeffersons. Got them 3 Jeffies.
But then, after Constantine gets her to calm down and, basically tells her, hey, we kind of can't kill this guy. It turns out that Faust isn't actually behind it all. It ends up being a guy who we kind of glazed over, actually. We didn't even...
Well, we glazed over for a reason, because of the plot.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I mean, he was Constantine's friend who was sick and dying, but turns out...
Cancer.
Not so much sick and dying, and he...
Well, he's still sick and dying.
Yeah, but he steals something from Constantine to give him what he thought was going to be power and immortality, but it was just a doorway to the Dreamstone.
The Dreamstone, that's it.
But this goes back to earlier in the movie, we had kind of a origin story for Etrigan the Demon and Jason Blood. Yeah, where it's medieval times,
500 years ago.
Yeah, it's not the restaurant medieval times, but 500 years ago, like Cody said, and battlefield with Merlin and
evil magician, I would assume, or sorcerer named Destiny.
Yep. And basically, Jason Blood tries to go after Destiny, and Merlin, summons Etrigan the Demon to
fight Destiny.
Fight Destiny, and then they merge or something.
Before he summons Etrigan, Jason Blood fights Destiny. But in that fight, Destiny stabs and wounds Jason fatally. So after Etrigan takes out Destiny, Merlin then fuses Etrigan and Jason into one being so that Etrigan will be, I guess, imprisoned. The
reason that this is cool is because Jason Blood he's a member of the Knights of the Round Table.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where all this comes from. That's why Merlin's there. He's a Knight of the Round Table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's how Jason Blood is immortal, because he's fused with the demon.
Well, 500 years, was it forever, or was it like a time limit on it?
No, it was forever.
Okay.
But when, Constantine's little buddy messes with magic he doesn't fully understand, ends up being consumed by destiny, and then, of course, a huge fight
Which I was
ensues.
too about a year and a half ago. That game is good. 1,000 hours, man.
Oh, that's so much. That's too much Destiny.
Those are WoW hours, bro.
Dude, it was bad. I digress, though.
All I can think of is Matthew McConaughey from Wolf of Wall Street. Those are rookie numbers. You gotta get those numbers up.
That's the way I felt about the people I played with. I'm like, you only got 600 hours? Pussy.
So then you have the real big bad, which is Destiny, and then a huge fight ensues, and of course, good guys win. Of course.
Way to glaze it over there.
After Destiny rips Alec Holland out of Swamp Thing.
Well, and rips Jason Blood out of Etrigan.
Yeah, Destiny undoes the spell on Jason and Etrigan. They are no longer fused. Swamp Thing shows up because of Constantine. Constantine ends up calling him. And then Swamp Thing fights Destiny, which is badass. And at one point, Destiny rips the body that was Alec Holland out of Swamp Thing, which is weird because this is kind of like New 52 stuff, and in the New 52 he no longer has a physical, like he no longer has his body, like he doesn't need it anymore, because he had died, and then the Green resurrected Alec Holland back as Swamp Thing. But of course, when the Green did that, then the other kingdom, the Rot, which is like Death and Decay, was like, fuck you, we'll bring back one of our guys, which was Swamp Thing's arch nemesis, Anton Arcane, which started the whole event Rot World, which was all in the New 52. I have all the volumes of Swamp Thing. So good. But, so yeah, I thought that was kind of weird.
Also, it kind of jump-started Blackest Night and Brightest Day, though, because Swamp Thing and Alec Holland were not together anymore.
Oh, is that what?
That was a big part of the whole events of Brightest Day, was to...
Yeah, because Swamp Thing became the White Lantern.
Yeah, right. But in order to do so, they had to fuse Alec Holland and Swamp Thing back together.
Okay, so they took a little bit of... They double-dipped.
Well, possibly. I don't know how they got separated in the comic books, but that could be the DCAU, which is what they call the animated universe. Mm-hmm. Could be their attempt to maybe set up another movie, though. Because you don't see...
Oh, we're going to get another...
Well, you don't get a resolution from that. That happens, and then Swamp Thing shows up again, like, I think towards the end of the movie, maybe.
No,
maybe not,
he doesn't. After he is sent back to the Earth, we don't see him again. And that was one thing I put in my notes, was like, what happened? Is he okay?
Well, the thing is, that fight scene between Destiny and Swamp Thing just shows you how
powerful
Swamp Thing is. Because they're fighting in Metropolis, and, like, Swamp Thing just annihilates streets in Metropolis by having the Green come out of the ground, and it just
they're near a park.
Yeah.
Well, that's like Constantine calls him and he goes, "I really hope he doesn't realize it's me. He's going to be pissed."
Yeah.
And so he burns a tree.
Yeah.
And right next to Destiny, and then Swamp Thing comes up. And he's like, "Who's messing with the Green?" And Destiny's like, "It's me." And who are you? And he goes, "I'm Swamp Thing, protector of the Green." And they start this fight.
Yeah. But of course, as Destiny shows up in Metropolis, then like part of Destiny's power is to it's almost like an illusion. Like he makes you see terrors, which causes people to be aggressive, and that kind of fear and aggression powers his magic.
It's kind of a different way that Ares, and Sinestro in a way, but Ares works, because if Ares is around you, you get mad. Like if Ares was standing next to us, we would all be at each other's throats.
Right, because he's the god.
More than we are. But anyway,
more than we are.
Fair enough.
The way that Destiny works is that he makes you look like something that I need to fight, and that's how he works. And then he feeds off of that energy.
Yeah.
Whereas Ares just feeds off the war energy, the death energy. But it's a comment that I made, is that Sinestro would be really proud of this guy.
Oh yeah, he's probably watching from somewhere in the universe, going, "I'm so proud."
They grow up so fast.
But then our Justice League Dark members aren't affected by his magic.
No, Boston isn't. Constantine isn't.
None of them are. Not even Batman.
Why?
I don't know. Well, the magic users...
Well, fear with Batman, whatever.
Right. I mean, Batman, he's Batman. But when you bring in
super rich.
I have a lot of money. But when you bring in the other members of the Justice League, they see things the way
John Stewart shows up first.
He shows up first, and he sees Batman as some horrendous creature.
Looks kind of like Batman Beyond. Let's be honest, like a ripped out Batman, like Terry McGinnis ripped.
Yeah, like if Terry McGinnis had like molten lava armor.
Sort of.
Way.
But like the red, the bat symbol turned red, his eyes turned red.
Yeah.
But he was like ripped.
Yeah, he was.
And then John Stewart thinks that's a great idea to go after him. It's like, I want to fight that guy that looks like a giant flaming
Bat demon.
That sounds like a great idea.
But during the fight, Batman takes off John Stewart's ring. He depowers, and Batman just dead ass tases him.
Because there's a full like 3 seconds where John Stewart depowers and he's in his flight suit or in his
army suit.
His army suit.
He's like, what?
He's wearing just his Marine Corps.
Yeah, his Marine
jacket.
Yeah,
and it says J. Stewart. Yeah. And then there's like a 3-second pause, and then you just see taser, like these tase tongs, like freaking
project out and like tase the shit out of John Stewart. Good stuff.
But then you see Wonder Woman running at Batman,
and
she's whipping her lasso, and then Zatanna comes out of nowhere
mm-hmm.
and makes the lasso go around Wonder Woman, so she falls to the ground.
Yeah.
And Batman goes, "Thanks, Zatanna."
And then she says something again. And then Batman turns around and, like,
you
Superman...
don't see it.
You don't see it.
Because it's off screen, but then Batman turns...
And there's Superman.
Like 2 centimeters from his face.
It's
flying.
Superman's fist. Yeah.
Ugh.
But before this, Zatanna was kind of, like, unconscious because she had used a shitload of magical energy.
To fight Faust.
Yeah, and so she rested a little bit, so they had to go into this huge finale without her. But then she shows up just in time to save Batman from getting his head.
But then she goes
literally
smashed,
punched off his fucking body.
Yeah, and then she goes, "Go do what you need to do. I don't know how long I can hold it." And then there's like another 5 minutes of fight, and you don't see Batman do shit.
Yeah, he promptly's like, "Bye."
I think Batman went and cleaned his bat pants.
His bat suit. He's
like, shit my bat pants.
And then it kind of goes into this fight with.
So if Batman takes a shit, is it called guano then? Since it's bad shit?
Gotta go take a guano.
That's the code. It's guano. It's guano time.
Guano.
My morning guano.
He hangs upside down and shits directly into the toilet.
Then
like,
oh no, let's not go down that road.
then it's finally down.
That's too far, seriously?
That's too far.
It's down to Destiny and Constantine. And of course, Boston. And actually, Boston was the key to defeat him because he jumped inside Constantine. Destiny,
the Trojan horse.
Destiny grabs Constantine, pulls him into his protective force field, and Constantine's like, "Boston, do it now!" And then Boston jumps inside of Destiny, fucks him up.
Yep.
And then out of nowhere, Jason Blood, who has been separated from Etrigan, takes Etrigan's giant ass sword.
Takes Cloud Strife's sword from Final Fantasy VII.
Yes. And rams it through.
Buster sword.
Oh my god.
It's the Buster sword. He rams it through Destiny's chest, knocking out the Dream Stone.
Yeah.
Completely, and then
he goes, "Oh, is that a sword in your chest, or are you just happy to see me?"
And
I swear they let Matt Ryan have fun with his lines.
Oh, absolutely.
Those are all just.
And
puns.
then Constantine says a magic spell. Destiny is eradicated, and then his friend is like, "Help me, you bastard! You owe me." And Constantine's like, "Yeah, fuck you."
He's like, "Not this time, mate. Bye."
And then the Death Specters or whatever rips his soul out of his body.
The ones that earlier looked at Batman, and Batman goes boo, and they scares one of them.
Yeah, the Death Specters. Yeah, that was good. Whenever they were at the guy's apartment the first time. But that brings us to Jason Blood dying.
Yeah, because now that he's separated from Etrigan, the spell is broken, and he's back to where he was.
The 500-year-old wound shows back up.
Yeah.
And he dies. And, I mean, we cut from that. We don't know what's going on with Swamp Thing and Alec Holland.
Nope.
Because at the last we saw of Alec Holland, he was falling to the earth from, 70 stories up.
Yeah.
And Swamp Thing was going back into the ground.
Well, I mean, but for those who haven't seen the movie or aren't going to see the movie, his body is like a legitimate
It looks like
corpse.
a giant raisin, basically.
Yeah,
but it's lanky and malnourished and...
Yeah, because, I mean, it's a corpse. It's his dead body.
Let that be a lesson to all you vegetarians.
I don't know if that's how that works.
Yeah, that's what I got out of it.